This is actually a print screen from the portal. This is that design request screen. So again, the third-party reps will come in, fill out some basic information. Now this functionality is a custom entity inside of Dynamics Customer Engagement, CE, and then we're exposing that functionality to the Microsoft portal. So that's really what you're seeing here. Again, the third-party reps will enter some key information. That information then is submitted, and then people at the manufacturing company, engineers, then look at that information, come up with a design and CAD drawings, and then submit that and tie those drawings to this request, as well as that quote gets generated and it's tied to this request. And ultimately, there'll be a quote involved with line items on that quote. This is the actual quote screen inside of Dynamics CE. So this is what the internal users at this manufacturing company would see. So again, there's a quote record that's created automatically. That quote has usually a lot of line items for all the different parts that might go into this design. This is a very simple example that you see on the screen here. But pricing is all part of that. The third-party users, sales users, will see this quote as well, just in a very simplified format, again, through that Microsoft portal. They're not seeing this screen. This is for the internal manufacturing company users. The reps will then deliver that quote to the customer along with the design and CAD drawings, and then they'll review that with the customer. I mentioned once that design and quote is delivered to the customer, it's revised a lot. I said earlier, it's not uncommon that there's over a dozen different revisions to those design requests. And every single one of those revisions will ultimately produce a new quote or a revised quote. So we had to also build out in Dynamics CE a revision process. Of course, it's all related to the original design request and the quotes and things like that. But again, we built this revision process for them. And this is the revision screen when they do want to make a revision that the third-party reps work with their customers and create these revision records via the portal. All of this revision information is also tied to opportunities in Dynamics CE, which is part of the out-of-the-box sales process in customer engagement, which gives this manufacturing company great insight to what their pipeline looks like, as well as forecasting data to what future business. So they actually base, purchasing decisions off of these forecasts based on these design requests and revisions. We added actually a pretty cool feature to this revision process. Now this print screen here is inside of Dynamics CE. So we had a feature where inside of Dynamics CE, the internal manufacturing company engineers that are reviewing these design requests and a lot of these revisions, they're looking at those revision requests, okay? We created this little feature that you see on the left-hand side. It's a little window that shows up that basically spells out what the changes were or are in this revision that they're looking at compared to the previous revision or compared to the previous design request. So it starts as a design request, then there's revision 1, revision 2, revision 3, revision 4. Each one of these, if I'm looking at revision 4, this is telling me the differences between revision 4 and revision 3. Without this feature, those engineers were going back and forth looking at two different screens side by side, comparing revision 3 to revision 4. And so this really saved them a lot of time and effort in saying this is what changed.